So I went to Moment, and I looked for an up for grabs work item, which is like a beginner work item. How many people here have done an up for grabs? Good. And I picked out this set time, like set the time on a Moment object. It had been marked up for grabs. And I started working on it. And I put, on the issue, like, hey, I've got this, I'm going to try it out. And I'm going through the code, and I'm like digging down into every line of Moment's internal parsing code, every single line of it. And I'm looking at the idea that I would pass a time through the parser and set on the object. And I'm like, this will never work. These code paths don't exist. I will never give an accurate time to a Moment object with a set function. It will never happen. But then I was like, this has to be me, right? Like, Moment is made by cool people and downloaded by millions, so it has to be me who doesn't fundamentally understand the genius of this code, right? But I had said I would do it. So I made this pull request. This is the actual pull request. And I said, hey, guys, there's some problems here. I can get this far in the code, but I don't think this is ever going to work. And then I shook in fear. I literally, like, my hands were shaking. I remember laying in bed, and I was like this. You could see it. Like, I'm going to be really embarrassed on the internet right now, and I'm going to look like a bad developer. It's going to happen. And while I was shaking in fear for a couple of days, I found about 4 more bugs and fixed them in Moment. Like, I was like, pull request, pull request, pull request, while this first one sat. And then maybe a week later, they came back. We had a long discussion on the PR. And they said, you're right, Maggie, we can't make this modification. The code will never allow for it. But those bug fixes, they were great. Would you mind joining our core contributor team? No, seriously, this is what happened. I couldn't fix the code, so they invited me to the core team. Lesson, community-based open source projects are pretty desperate for help. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll join your core team. That sounds amazing. I committed code, I gave talks, I collaborated with this huge community of wonderful people who just wanted to make JavaScript better, even JavaScript dates. And I was a date time expert. And at this point, I was like, how do we fix this in the language? How do I figure something out to make it so that we don't have to carry around giant libraries like Moment? I know everyone is like, oh God, the giant library.